So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Today we have a privilege. Our great Sridevi Mataji is going to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse 39. So this is last verse of this chapter. Hare Krishna, Sridevi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to you. Mataji, should I share the screen or?
Yes, that will be nice.
Sure.
Dear Vrindavanath Prabhu and all the devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our wonderful Gurudev. Welcome to our Gurudev's daily call. I humbly request for your blessings, for your mercy, that I somehow am given the ability to speak something that is beneficial to myself first and also to all of you. Please give me your blessings. Hare Krishna. So we are on verse number 39 of the 11th chapter of the first canto. Lord Krishna has returned to Dwaraka and everyone is welcoming him. And we have seen so many wonderful descriptions, how the queens are welcoming him. And today we will read about how Krishna covers them with his internal potency, Yogamaya, not Mahamaya, so that they don't know he's the Supreme Lord. A very sweet verse. And the very last one in this chapter. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Please forgive me because I don't know if you are able to, you're able to see the verse on the board, on the screen. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse number 39 again. Tam menire balamudha Srainam chanu vratam rahaha Apramana vido bhartur Ishwaram matayo yatha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The simple and delicate women truly thought that Lord Sri Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. Purport. Even the transcendental wives of Lord Sri Krishna did not know completely the unfathomable glories of the Lord. This ignorance is not mundane because there is some action of the internal potency of the Lord in the exchange of feelings between him and his eternal associates. The Lord exchanges transcendental relations in 5 ways: as proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover. And in each of these pastimes, he plays fully by the potency of Yogamaya, the internal potency. He plays exactly like an equal friend with the cowherd boys, or even with friends like Arjun. He plays exactly like a son in the presence of Yashoda Mata. He plays exactly like a lover in the presence of the cowherd damsels. And he plays exactly like a husband in the presence of the queens of Dwaraka. Such devotees of the Lord never think of the Lord as the supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, a pet son, or a lover or husband very much dear to the heart and soul. That is the relation between the Lord and his transcendental devotees who act as his associates in the spiritual sky, where there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. When the Lord descends, he does so along with his entourage, display a complete picture of the transcendental world, where pure love and devotion for the Lord prevail, without any mundane tinge of lording it over the creation of the Lord. Such devotees of the Lord are all liberated souls, perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency, in complete negation of the influence of the external potency. The wives of Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency, so that there might not be any flaw of exchange. And they took it for granted that the Lord was a henpecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So what do the thesis writers or mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? The mental speculators present different theses as to his becoming the cause of the creation, the ingredients of the creation, or the material and efficient causes of the creation, etc. But all this is but partial knowledge about the Lord. Factually, they are as ignorant as the common man. The Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only, and by no other means. But since the dealings of the Lord with his wives are based on pure transcendental love and devotion, the wives are all on the transcendental plane without material contamination. Jnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Lalitan Shri Vishakhan Vidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami Niti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatyadi Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So over here we are seeing how Lord Krishna, in order to enjoy that very sweet rasa, that very sweet taste, he covers his pure devotees so that they don't understand who he is. Yashoda Maya, she thinks her baby Krishna is her little boy. He needs her protection, he needs her care, he needs her concern, he needs her love, he needs her chastisement. He doesn't know what to do and how to do it and when to do it. So she's always chastising him and saying, come on, come inside, stop playing in the mud. It's time to take your bath and eat your food. Your father is waiting. So like this, he enjoys her pure love. And even when she comes running behind him with a stick in her hand, he's just overjoyed to be caught by her. He loves this love that she displays for him as a mother. And he doesn't want her to know he's the Supreme Lord. In fact, when she asks him to open his mouth and she sees the whole universe, and then she sees herself looking into his mouth, seeing the whole universe, she's completely bewildered. She sees mountains, rivers, skies, planets, demigods, creation, everything. And she thinks, oh my God, what am I seeing here? Who is this child? Is he some demigod? Is he Narayan himself? And the moment Krishna sees that, she's getting all bewildered and confused and she's losing that motherly feeling that she has for him, immediately he covers her again with the Yogamaya potency. So she forgets everything that she has seen and simply looks at her little child as a little baby Krishna, as her own little baby who needs all her care and protection. Similarly, the sakhas, his cowherd boys, they think he's just another boy like them. They jump on his shoulders, they eat some food and then they offer that same food to him. they bite a fruit and they say, here, this is so tasty. Krishna, you eat. It's like they grab each other's lunch pails and then they take food out of each other's lunch boxes and they, throw mud at each other and they, play hop, skip and jump and they play hide and seek and they do all kinds of fun things together. They play mischief, they play pranks. They do all kinds of things together because Krishna just wants to enjoy with his Gopa friends like another little boy. He doesn't want them to know he's the Supreme Lord, though every time a demon comes, he kills the demons. Every time there's a forest fire, he just opens his mouth, swallows the forest fire. He does all these supernatural things. And they just think, yeah, Krishna is there, he will take care. But they don't think how he's killing the demons, what kind of supernatural powers he has. Sometimes they discuss, how is it that he can do all these things? They say, oh, it is Mother Yashoda. She chants some special mantras, That's why he's got this power. Or, see that amulet she has tied around his wrist, around his arm. That's what gives him that power. But otherwise, he's just like us. He's got all these special powers. Like this, they discuss amongst themselves, but they just dismiss it, saying, oh, this is some magical feat. But they don't know he is God. They don't know he's the Supreme Lord. Because Krishna doesn't want them to know. He doesn't want them to know. Similarly, the gopis, for them, he's their sweet, loving Krishna with the flute, calling them in the middle of the night to have rasa dance. They don't know he's God. They don't care to know he's God. They just take him as their supreme lover. Similarly, Nanda Maharaj, for Nanda Maharaj, he's his little boy. He chastises him. He asks him to bring slippers at another point. Krishna, bring my slippers. And Krishna carries those little wooden slippers on his head and brings it to his father. So like this, Krishna enjoys being a son, being a lover, being a friend, being, a master, like this. He enjoys this rasa without the devotees, his pure eternal associates, coming to even know that he is the Supreme Lord. Of course, they have achieved this position after heaps and heaps and heaps of lifetimes of pious activities. It's not that suddenly you can become an eternal associate of the Lord. It is by their sincere desire to serve the Lord in pure loving devotion that they become the eternal associates. But then Krishna covers them so that they don't know his majesty, his power, his opulence, his supremacy. They don't know he's the Supreme Personality of God. Similarly, what happens to the queens of Dwarka? They think, this is my husband. He's following me around like a henpecked husband. He's mine. And they think that is all there is to Krishna. But Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He enjoys that because of the pure love each of the queens has for him, how lovingly they serve him, how intimately and sweetly they serve him, not caring for the hundreds of servants they have. They personally serve him. They massage his lotus feet, they arrange his bedstead, they arrange for the chamara fan, they fan him personally, they offer him betel nut, they offer him cooling sandalwood paste, they cook nice things for the Lord. So like this, they are very, very joyful in serving the Lord personally. And the Lord also enjoys all this sweet personal service, isn't it? So there's a very sweet, loving exchange between the Lord and his devotees. And you know what? Each of us has that loving relationship with Krishna because we are his part and parcels. We have forgotten that and we have lost our position. But at one time, we were also with Krishna in the spiritual world, rendering loving service, just like all these great devotees. And so now we are trying to rediscover our lost relationship with Krishna. By engaging in this process of bhakti yoga, we are trying to recover that relationship, isn't it? So this is the relationship that the Lord has. And there are innumerable such devotees in innumerable Vaikuntha planets. And with each one of them, Krishna has a special loving relationship. Can you imagine? Unlimited living entities. In the whole of creation, 3/4 is the spiritual world. Only 1/4 is the material world. And of course, there are innumerable living entities, but with each soul, because Krishna is unlimited, He can have a relationship with each and every one of them. In fact, he expands into so many Jiva Tattvas just in order to have loving exchanges, just in order to enjoy different rasa, different mellows of love. Just like we take enjoyment in different kinds of, say, foods. Let's say I like sweets, I like sour sometimes, I like pungent sometimes, I like spicy, I like mild, I like flavorful, I like so many different flavors, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna wants to taste the love that is there in each and every one of our hearts in different flavors. But when he comes to the material world, when he descends, he does so along with his complete entourage. That means he never comes alone. Just as a great man, if you see, the president, the prime minister, they have a whole cavalcade, 5, 10 limousines come first, then the president's car, then another 5, 10 limousines, then a whole motorcade of motorbikes behind, then horses on infantry, soldiers on horses, and so on, so on. Like there's a big display because a big man is coming, right? This is just the material world. Imagine the Supreme Lord. Of course, he's going to come with this entourage of deeply personal, loving associates to perform his pastimes. Because when a man wants to do something very great, he has his team around him, isn't it? His very confidential assistants who know his mind, know his heart, know the way he thinks, who are trusted because they have given nice service before. Similarly, Krishna has his eternal associates who are very loving servitors with whom he has a very loving, confidential relationship. And they come with him into this material world to assist him in his pastimes. Who is the first person who comes with Krishna? Lord Balaram. And in this Chaitanya Leela, he comes as Lord Nityananda. Jai, Gaur Nitai ki Jai. So where pure loving devotion for the Lord prevails, can we go down the purport, Vrindavanath Prabhu, just a little bit? Yes. All these devotees, although they are extremely powerful and extremely potent and extremely capable, they don't have even one tinge of trying to lord it over the creation, either material or spiritual, because they know very well it is only the Supreme Lord who is the controller, the proprietor, the enjoyer of all his creation. So they never, ever think of lording it over or trying to usurp or trying to exploit or trying to grab something for themselves. This is the difference between us and between the spiritual entourage of Krishna. They are completely pure. They have no tinge of personal motivation because they have perfected themselves. This is the point we are trying to reach also. To do everything in such a way, anyabhlashta shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnanu bhakti shilanam uttama ujyate. So we also want to strive to reach that unalloyed bhakti position. This is actually our real position. We are covered over by the material energy. So those devotees who come, they're all liberated souls and perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency, in complete negation of the influence of the external potency. That means they are not affected by the material energy, by the material modes in any way, shape, or form. They are all transcendental. They're above the modes. So all the actions also transcendental. The loving devotion is also transcendental. This is pure bhakti yoga. This is actually our real position, to render pure loving service to the Lord. Now, even these people, they don't know the Lord. The queens think that the Lord is a henpecked husband, always following them, loving on them, playing like a husband, like a lover. So they think, oh, this is my husband, this is my lover. They don't realize that this is Krishna and he has loving relationships with unlimited living entities in all creation, both material and spiritual. So when they themselves, these great souls, don't know, what can the mental speculators know? They just make up stuff according to whatever their head tells them. So Srila Prabhupada writes, as long as they present different theses And they just, make up things, but this is not real knowledge because it is not coming from the Lord himself. So how can we know Krishna? Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschachmi tatvatah tato jnatva yavan yes. Can we go to 1855, please, Vrindavanath Prabhu? Yavan Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschachmi tatvatah tato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. So only by devotional service am I to be known. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can then enter the kingdom of God. Yeah, there we go. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation, nor by the non-devotees. In fact, Krishna says, me no one knows. I know past, present, and future, but me no one knows. That's 723, I'm thinking. Can we go to Bhagavad Gita 723? Oh, Arjuna, I know the past, present, and future, but no, I'm sorry. Then it may be 7, maybe 9, 11. I'm getting mixed up. Hold on, let me just check. It is, oh, Arjuna, I know past, present, and future. I know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Let me just check which. Just give me 1 second. Let's go, because that verse is very important to understand. Krishna himself is declaring, me, no one knows me. Yeah,
Mataji?
I'm sorry, 726. Bhagavad Gita 726. Yeah, translation. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Let's finish the Sanskrit. Just 1 second. Sorry. Bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So Krishna is not an ordinary person that people can just think, oh, I can figure out Krishna. I can know him. I know this about him. I know that about him. Krishna is covered. Naham Prakasha. What is that particular verse where he says that I am covered by my internal potency. No one can know me. Just let me think 1 second. Okay, let's look at that verse also, because that's also a very nice verse. Which verse is that? Can we go to 2:7:26, please? Srimad Bhagavatam 2:7:26. In that purport, just let's go below. There's that particular, yeah, there. 7:25. It is said by the Lord, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavritaha. So he reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. Can we look at 7:25 also, Prabhu? Only the bona fide devotees can know him. Here Krishna is saying, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So those who are foolish, those who are miscreants, in 7:15, Avajananti mam mudha. avajananti mam mudha prapadyante naradhama. Okay. Namam duskritino mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya pahrita jnana asuram bhava ashritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So these four categories of people, they just don't want to know about Krishna. They don't want to surrender to Krishna, and therefore they do not know Krishna. Only the devotees can know Krishna. Only the devotees know what is what. Because Krishna is so happy with their loving service that he reveals himself to the devotee in the heart. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender, I reward them accordingly. So Krishna can only be known by loving devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada declares, we know who is God. We know what he likes to eat. We know what he likes to wear. We know where he likes to stay. We know who are his devotees, who are his associates. We know where he lives. So Srila Prabhupada very authoritatively declares that we know who is God. He is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we know all about him because we are learning it from the disciplic succession. We are receiving this knowledge as it is coming down through the disciplic succession. That's how we know. This is not man-made knowledge. It is coming from the Lord himself. And all the scriptures, all the Vedic knowledge is meant for us to know God and to understand God and to re-enter into a loving relationship with him. Ultimately, the aim of all Vedic knowledge is what? Yoga, linking up with the divine, reconnecting with Krishna. And it is already existing. Dormant love for Krishna is there in the hearts of all living entities. It is just covered over by the material energy. And so the process of uncovering it is this. Bhakti Yoga, starting with the tongue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only the devotees can know Krishna. And Krishna covers himself. He doesn't reveal himself to one and all. Why should he? It is his privilege whom he wants to reveal himself to. And so only the devotees can know Krishna through their loving devotion. So thank you all very much for listening patiently. We can go back to the main verse. 1:11:29. And we can open up for questions.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for really amazing pointers which you highlighted. As you rightly mentioned, only Krishna knows about his whole Leela, past everything. We just can't even understand anything. We think we know, we have understood this Veda, that scriptures, or I have been in Krishna consciousness for so many years, this and that, but actually we are nowhere. Yeah. And
Right.
Only way I think you rightly mentioned all these pointers, and for you also mentioned that as devotee can only understand Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Nobody else can understand, but important for us, I think, is that we just take shelter of Guru and Sadhu and devotees, because on our own we don't know anything, we can't do anything. So thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening so patiently. Hare Krishna.
It's nectar. It's nectar.
Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions, comments, realization, please do unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand, or you can type in chat window. I can read on your behalf. And also request if you can please switch on your video. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your Prabhupada. Whether Sridevi, wonderful lecture. Wonderful, wonderful. You could tell the excitement that you have. I would like to switch on my video, but I'm not really in position to do that right now. The body being giving me some trouble, so I'm still um, having to stay in bed. This is Prekshit Das, by the way. Please step out of
Yes.
it. Please
Please the mind. All glories to Prabhupada.
Wonderful excitement coming through you. We haven't learned much, but still the enthusiasm is there. As the nectar of instruction, we are told to act that way. Then Krishna makes it, whole Krishna consciousness. Whatever we go through materially, troubles, and they just, you talk about Krishna, then they all take a back seat. That's a wonderful thing about it. I have a question as you were talking of Bhakti Mama Vijayanati, and then other texts that you had pulled up. Where Krishna is explaining that he reserves the right to be covered by those who don't know him, especially atheists, of course. They'll never figure it out because that's the choice they have made. But my question is, what about those who are also very convinced about God, but they are religionists? They firmly believe in their religion. And they don't have any idea about the pastimes that Srila Prabhupada has revealed to us, and the sweetness of a relationship that Krishna literally covers his devotees with Yoga Maya so that they can be transcendentally fooled into getting into a most wonderful relationship with him without knowing that he's God. And these guys are missing out. Literally, when we hear it excites us, they're missing out. What to do with them in their situation when they have such full belief in the Lord? Can we help them some kind of way?
Yes, certainly. They are at least very, very pious, and at least they have firm faith that there is the Supreme Lord. They don't know him, like very pious Christians, very pious Baha'is, very pious Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, they don't know. But they do have great faith and firm belief in their own scriptures, in their own, Bible, Quran, Torah, whatever it may be. So one thing we can do is we can pray for them. One. Second, we ourselves can be a good example of how God wants us to be. God wants us to be very loving towards everyone. So in our dealings with them, it is best to simply be very respectful, at the same time very loving and caring towards them. They will not understand until Krishna gives the mercy to them to make inquiries, to go deeper, to understand, and so on. So they have to make some agyata sukriti. They have to collect some pious credits even unknowingly. So if you have a nice friendship with them, they might say, hey, I've grown some potatoes. Come on, can I give you some? Very good. You offer those potatoes to Krishna and pray for them. That's their first, not first, but it could be like that. Or, hey, can I borrow your paint? And then, they allow you to use the paintbrush. Little things like that will add up, and their Agnyata Sukriti bank account will be building up just because of you. Just because they're connecting with a devotee, just because they're offering some service, some assistance to you, they will start coming closer to Krishna. And third, their own piety might make them a little curious. To know a little bit more. What's your religion about? Can you tell me a little bit more? So they might feel attracted to see the form of the Lord, to even visit the temple sometime. And that's how they're making their first few steps toward Krishna. And in some future lifetime, it will all add up and they will come to Krishna. They're just on a different level right now. So they're getting a chance in this lifetime because of you, because somehow they know you or they're connected to you. But, if Krishna, they must receive the mercy of the pure devotee of the Lord. That goes for everyone. Because without that, no one can get the mercy of the Lord. So yes, it's a little difficult for us to see their condition that, oh my God, so close yet so far, You might be feeling that sense of frustration and a sense of, urgency for them. Like, hey, come on, get on with it. Try to learn about Krishna. But they must receive special mercy for that to happen. Maybe not in this lifetime, maybe the next lifetime, who knows? But one thing you can do, I would always say to my Guru Maharaj, oh Guru Maharaj, look at my family. They're all Indians, they're all pious, but they're not interested in devotional service. What to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. And Guru Maharaj will say, The best thing you can do for them is to pray for them. Pray for them. And I just started praying. I still pray for them. Slowly, after many years, my dad is taking interest. He was chanting a little bit. My daughter is taking a lot of interest now. She's chanting. She actually came for the disciples meeting this time. And I can see now she's attending the immersion retreat online with Sachinandan Maharaj in New Vrindavan. She's taking more interest in knowing more about sadhu sangha. So little by little, the interest will pick up. But we cannot force the pace. We cannot push them. We cannot do anything. We can simply pray for them. Sorry, maybe somebody has better suggestions. Please.
Oh, it's actually wonderful to hear that. Sometimes, we said, Guru Maharaj said that, Chandramauli Swami said to pray for the family members. I also heard Chandrasekhar Swami also say the same thing. We can have to pray. This is a program in Reading, Pennsylvania. He said the same thing also. So as you were speaking, I'm just getting reminded, it's all coming to my yes. But my sister was trying to get me away from Krishna consciousness. The first time we heard about it. Very, very devout Catholic. So I'm going to pray for her also. Of course, she already has had prasadam, right? Because when she comes, we cook and, she eats some of it. And especially the one that is from our country, but definitely offerable to Krishna. She's already had that. So yes, prayer is actually quite powerful. And then as opportunity comes out, sneaking the prasadam and giving to them. One point I'll make them, a friend of mine in high school is also a star. I went to Ghana, that's where I was born, and I stayed in his house. And we had discussions about the Lord, and I'm trying to sneak in Krishna consciousness. One, he just blurted out, I believe God can be a baby. Then I tapped him on the shoulder and said, he is. He came as a baby. Then, so he gave me a segue to explain it a little bit. Jesus was born. Well, Jesus, some of you say he's God, he's a son of God, but he was born as a baby. You don't deny that. He was born as a baby. And God can do everything. So why can't God come as a baby if he wants to? Right. So when he gave, then we had an interesting discussion. So yeah, but prayer is, I think, twice you've said it. I mean, twice I've heard now from you to Chandramauli Swami and now from Chandrasekhar Swami. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Parikshit Prabhu. We are so happy to have you on this call. Believe me, having senior devotees blessing us with their association, with their valuable knowledge, with their comments, with their realizations, with their insights. It means so much to us because we are all just, babies. We're just learning to crawl. All of you have been serving Guru Maharaj with such dedication, so many years. And I'm so grateful for your presence here with us today. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I'm also a baby because Krishna is unlimited. It doesn't matter how many. It's unlimited. So if you're learning about Krishna, how much are you going to know? Which is, again, through the mercy of Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj. And Chandramauli Swami is my Shiksha Guru. He asked us, very much. And I love your excitement. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you very much for encouraging me.
Hare Krishna, Namrata Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. All glories to the wonderful devotees present here.
Please accept mine. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev.
Very firstly, thank you Parikshit Prabhu. I'm sorry. Thank you, Parikshit Prabhu, for raising up that question, because I had this question since many days. I have a cook here I'm here to serve my mother here for some reason. She's undergoing some medical conditions. So there's a cook with us, and she's an impersonalist. She believes in the impersonal philosophy. So I was little worried, that she's cooking, but then you said that after she cooks, I offer that food to my deities. So does that help, Mataji?
It's
What she
best not to eat food that is cooked by non-devotees. It's best to eat food cooked only by devotees, that too those who are chanting 16 rounds every day. That is actually the standard recommended for devotees. Guru Maharaj has said this. That's why I'm confident enough to repeat it. I'm not being fanatical. I'm not trying to impose my own ideas on you. This is what Guru Maharaj has said, that devotees should be very careful about what they eat, who cooks it, how it is cooked, and it is to be offered, of course. But I don't think you should allow lady that too, she's an impersonalist, to cook the food in your home. I think you should cook for yourself and your mother at least, and then offer food to her, especially when she's sick.
then
The consciousness of the cook goes into that food, and you're eating food, you see, it will have an effect on your consciousness also.
okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I just want to have a follow-up question that you just said that out of compassion, if we think about these kind of people, even though she's impersonal, even to be on the compassionate level, she's cooking, and if we offer her cooked food to the deities, and then we have it, does that she is serving the deities? So does that help or not? Mataji, you're on mute.
Krishna will not accept it. Krishna doesn't accept food cooked just anyhow by anyone, just like that, just because you offer it. It has to be cooked with love and devotion. It has to be cooked with trying motive to please the Lord. So it's maybe a difficult situation for you, I understand, but it is not ideal for you also to eat that food, or for your mom to eat that food. Try to get a devotee cook. Why not get a devotee cook then? If you have to hire somebody, get a devotee cook to do it.
Yes, Mataji, I was worried a little on that, but then I don't regularly come here, and I don't know a lot of people working here. So yeah, but then it's not so much days left now here for me, so I think the rest of the days I'll cook for myself.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is
Thank you
safer, because your spiritual life will get affected by all this. Mayavad bhakta sunile hoi sarvanash. Lord Chaitanya warns us not to even hear the Mayavadis. What to speak of eating the food cooked by them? My God, that's like really putting yourself in danger zone. Don't allow that to happen. You may write to Guru Maharaj and ask. I personally think that it is not advisable at all, but you might want to check with Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you for that advice. I'll write Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions, comments, please do take advantage of this opportunity.
We have Nirjal Ekadashi coming up. I don't know for y'all when it is, but for us here in India, it is Wednesday.
Yeah,
It's a-
UK also, it's on 31st Mataji, Wednesday.
Acha, same for you also. Yeah. Very wonderful opportunity for chanting more rounds, for nullifying, whatever mistakes we have made on other Ekadashis. Sometimes we have unknowingly broken Ekadashi, mixing up the dates and things like that. So it's a very, very wonderful day to make amends for all that, chant extra rounds, and if possible, do Nirjal Ekadashi, if possible.
I think you rightly mentioned, Mataji, the most important thing is to remember Hari on Ekadashi.
Yes. Chant, 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 chant. The only way I can give up, forget about food and forget about drink is by chanting, 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 chanting all the time. Otherwise, the mind always goes, oh, I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to do this, I want to do that. So the only way out of the whole thing is to keep chanting. You know, she
Important.
said our movement is actually about slowly reducing eating and sleeping. Srila Prabhupada wants us to spiritualize our bodies also. Body, mind, intelligence, everything. Get fully spiritualized so that we are less and less dependent on these external things and more dependent on the spiritual energy. You know, great yogis, they can fast for days together. They can just breathe air and live. Of course, I'm not saying we should do like that. I'm saying we can try to do at least one thing on Ekadashi. Chant rounds extra. Ekadashi is known as Mother of Devotion. It's the day on which we can make a lot of advancement.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for the advice, the excitement, the advice. The chanting is very, very important. And when we do more of that, then Krishna reveals himself more. And then we get more excited about Krishna consciousness. That's the way it works. That's the
Right.
way it works. Otherwise, it would be another, job that we do. But Krishna consciousness is supposed to be fun from the heart. From the heart.
Right.
And
From
the
the heart.
chanting
Right.
brings it out. It's very important. Thank you for the advice, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and when we take even one little step towards Krishna, we try to do one little thing more for Krishna. Krishna takes so many steps towards us. We can actually see, wow, I never thought, within 2 weeks, within 1 month, I would be able to give up this or I would be able to chant more. But you just make a little attempt and suddenly you're able to do something you had not thought of before. I never thought I'll be able to add 2 more rounds, but here I am chanting 2 more rounds. I began on Ekadashi and now I'm chanting 2 extra rounds. Like that, we can make one small attempt and we can see how it goes, But if we don't attempt anything, then we will just keep on, sort of muddling along. We want to constantly push ourselves. We want to constantly be, striving to do just a little bit better. Why? Because the material energy is pushing us the other way so strongly. So unless we make a very strong effort to push against her, we will actually be going, with the current backward. Guru Maharaj often says, there is no standing in one place in Krishna consciousness. Either you're going forward or you're going backward. So we don't want to go backward for sure. We want to keep going forward, isn't it? So we keep pushing on little every day. Put your shoulder to the wheel. Like that.
It's
I don't
mentioned.
know, buddy, people will think I'm total fanatical, Mataji is constantly saying, do like this, do like that, do like that, do like that. Why can't she just let me be? Huh? I'm fine as I am. I'm doing great. Why she's going on telling, do this, do that?
Actually, it's very great advice. We push. That's how we were done, treated also in Girinagri. You have to, if you have somebody that push back, if you have push just like anything. And sometimes you come, as you know, you heard your Guru Maharaj say, oh, the disciples are lazy. Well,
Yeah, already
he
accused
said
us
that.
of being
But
lazy. He said, my disciples, he said,
oh,
my disciples are very nice, very humble, very nice, but they're spiritually very lazy. He said like,
well, Bhaktivinoda Maharaj told us, I'm going to reveal to you now, in case you're shocked to hear that, what your Guru Maharaj told you, spiritually very lazy. Like Maharaj told the Grihastas are very, and now I will actually impersonate how he did it. The Grihastas are very dull, right to our faces. They don't do that to make you discouraged. They do that on the opposite way. They expect you to, push, push harder and harder and harder, because the sweetness comes when you do that. And the Maharaj already knows that the sweetness will come. And if he doesn't force you, lovingly persuade you to take more of an effort, putting more of an effort in Krishna consciousness, you will never know how sweet that is. That's why they do that. That's why they do that. So every time you hear a disciple of the Guru Maharaj repeat those words to you, you're fortunate. When you see them, it's not fanatical at all. The fact is, Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita that if you do not eat what's been offered to the Lord, you don't eat from the right source, you're barely eating what? Sin. So how you expect that you go ahead and do it in a situation that's not right? So sometimes mercy can be shown, the circumstances may dictate something, but you should always make the effort to come to the center, what has been given, and follow that. And if you follow that, then there's no problem. So I'm speaking of my own purification too. Don't think I'm not in that mode too. Maya tests everybody.
Right.
So we have to be careful. Otherwise, we accept something, it's because of circumstance. Then Maya create another circumstance, and a third circumstance, and a fourth circumstance, and a fifth circumstance. And next thing you know, you're way down there. Way down there. Oh, that's what happens. So you should, when you're hearing a speaker tell you to only God's sister, tell you from experience, Guru Maharaj is telling you that if you do like that, take it seriously. Don't say, I'm being imposed on too hard. Don't they understand my circumstance? Yeah, Krishna understands the circumstance, but if you make the effort to come to do the right thing despite the circumstance, that's where you get the most mercy.
Right. Nice. Well, very well said, Parikshit Prabhu. Beautifully expressed. Thank you for succinctly and cogently summarizing the whole thing. You've just given the whole essence of Guru Tattva by explaining that to us. Thank you so much.
All glories to Guru, all glories to Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Guru and Gauranga. You are a Shiksha Guru here, so we thank you.
No, I'm listening to you and enjoying and being reminded of things that I've been told already. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj ki jai. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj disciples mercy ki jai. We are so blessed today. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us your mercy, Prabhu. Please keep coming. Every chance you can get, we would love to keep hearing more and more from you.
Hare Krishna. We'll see. Well, as much as I can, yes, I will. Hare Krishna.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so
because
much.
I learned from you too, and from everybody.
Yes. Learn from each other. That's so true. Thank you.
Sridevi Mataji, when you were saying something, I was remembering somebody said that we all are agent of Bhaman Dev in ISKCON. Yeah, Bhaman Dev came just to take 3 steps and took control of everything. Similarly for us, when I do this Bhakti Vriksha courses every Friday on my home for new devotees, and somebody mentioned that you just keep Krishna in center. But after a few weeks, it looks like nothing left for us. Everything is just now belonging to Krishna only. Whatever from start to end, actually you are saying just mold this way, do this way, do this way. So what's left for us? So this, for us, I feel like this is
nothing left, everything for Krishna.
everything for Krishna. So we just say, just very small, just keep Krishna in center. That's it. Nothing. You don't need to change anything. But actually, you need to change everything upside down.
Everything upside down.
So,
Prabhupada said, go in like a needle, come out like a plow.
Absolutely, yes. But as Parikshit Prabhu said,
devotee is very chatur, very intelligent. He knows exactly to grab their attention.
But
And
the
then
beauty is,
that you pull them in.
yes, as Parikshit Prabhu said,
Nice.
that end result is sweet. So that's the only thing which drives
That's the
devotee
main
forward.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, surrender is sweet, isn't it? Tell them, is it
absolutely.
sweet? Okay, you feel now Krishna has taken everything, but isn't your life so much better now that Krishna has taken everything? Isn't your life so much better? Don't you have less anxiety now, less things to worry about? You can engage in kirtan, you can offer nice food and have nice prasadam. Your life has become so much better simply because of your surrender to Krishna. Surrendering to Krishna is always sweet. We are never the losers, we are the gainers.
Yes, I was listening to one Maharaj lecture, and he mentioned that, see, when we mention about, when we talk about surrender, actually surrender means that normally we are praying, and like not surrender in terms of more faith, actually we are referring to, that when problems strikes us, yeah, then we are always looking at material level, at bodily level, primarily at bodily level, like this relation, this health issue, this job, this, that, everything, 99.99%, everything is related to body level. But we say that, okay, and he, like that Maharaj was also having some physical problems. So somebody asked that, okay, you say that you chant Krishna name, and then everything will be just completely taken care by Krishna. Why Krishna is not taking care of your health? You are in so much pain. And then Maharaj very nicely mentioned that, see, if I'm praying for Krishna, I'm not going to bargain for this very cheap body, because this is anyway going to die one day. So if I need to focus on my actual target, which is getting shelter of lotus feet of Krishna or Radharani. So if in place of that, if I keep my target for my body, who is the worst loser? I'm going to be the loser. And I'm not going to keep my bhakti so cheap. Such nice meditation, really, I really was touched by that. And that's called faith. And that's called surrender. That, like, and he also said, like, what we think, we become like that. So whatever we want to be, we need to think like that. So if we need to think that our end target is like getting just like serving and getting shelter of lotus feet of Lord, then we just need to keep that as a target. Whatever comes on the way, just say this is all body level. Like, okay, fine, this is just all being Leela of Krishna. He's just testing us. And then keep going, keep going, keep going. But keep your bhakti strong, keep your faith strong, and keep your holy name chanting strong. That's the only thing which can keep you strong in this Kali Yuga. So you're right, Mataji.
So true. I agree. Beautifully said.
So looks like no question, Mataji, no like things. So we are just also on the time. If it's your permission, then maybe we can close the call.
Thank you. Thank you for your excellent hosting, Vrindavanath Prabhu. You make us all feel so encouraged to share, to ask questions. You have such potent comments to keep the discussion going and the flow of realizations. I'm so grateful for your hosting also. Thank you so much.
Nowhere, Mataji, just like, like a squirrel, little squirrel. Army.
No.
Ability, any capacity. And you are like having a true quality of a Vaishnava, that you are trying to encourage, motivate, appreciate everybody, little effort. So thank you very, very much, and really appreciate for your all the nice messages. And as Parikshit Prabhu said, always it's nice hearing you and your class and your messages. So thank you very much for putting in your all effort. Really appreciate. Thank you also all the devotees for joining. I know like everybody can do a lot of other things in this time, but you have spent your time in this. So Krishna is of course watching everything. So thank you very, very much. Vanchikalpa tarubhyascha kripa
sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Shila
The humble
Prabhupada ki jai.
Guru Maharaj ki
Jai
jai.
Sridevi Mataji ki jai. Anand
Prabhu.
Koti
All the
Vaishnava
assembled devotees ki jai. Parikshit Prabhu ki jai. Bhakti Geeta
Prabhupada ki jai.
Mataji. We have Bhaktavatsal Nitai Prabhu joining us from Slovenia, Janava from Italy, Sri